Hold on to your seats, folks. Today could be an incredible day for Auburn recruiting under Hugh Freeze. We're talking about the first of, at least at this moment, 2 commitments / flips that we know about. We're going to tell you who that first one is and what it means for Auburn football as part of this 2023 class. But before we do that, we always want to remind you to smash the like button if you enjoyed this type of content, and be sure to leave a comment down below as you're watching or listening today. It'll help enter you into our ongoing subscriber giveaway to win a signed Auburn football prize package. And lastly, we do want to thank members of our booster club like Dustin Smith, who help produce videos like this. So there are 2 things that I want to make very clear at the start of this video. First of all, this is going to be after a series of decommitments of people choosing to not be part of the recruiting class. So we haven't covered a lot of that here on this channel because I figured there was going to be a lot of changing nature to that. But names like Ashley Williams, Adam Hopkins, and others have decommitted from the class so far. Just keep that in mind when we're talking about some of these numbers. So that's the negative stuff. Let's talk about the big stuff. Today is a very big day, as I've talked about. We've felt like this was coming for quite some time. Some commitments coming down the line for the Tigers under Hugh Freeze. And your first one was a big surprise this morning. Offensive lineman recruit Tyler Johnson has flipped from Texas Tech to the Auburn Tigers to be part of their 2023 class. The commitment and flip came this morning of December 11th and was a big shock to a lot of people who I don't think were anticipating this one, especially myself. The Natchitoches High School prospect from Natchitoches, Louisiana, is considered an exterior offensive lineman or offensive tackle and a 3 to 4 star prospect, depending on who you look at for your services. This was a big recruiting weekend for Auburn overall, and obviously he was part of that, but the relationship began back at Big Cat Weekend back in July. So a lot of people who were stressing back then that, oh, we didn't get the commitments that we wanted at that time. You see how the dividends pay off over time. You just got to have a little patience. Just a little bit more about his history. He was committed to Texas Tech back on September 17th and spent the entire fall season staying committed until now, obviously, the flip and commitment to the Tigers, which is a huge boost of momentum to the offensive line room, which we've all been wanting to see for quite some time. It's the second flip, if I have my math right, for Auburn on this year as well. We always want to know what the measurables are for these athletes. This guy is 6'6", 285 to 300 pounds. He's also a pretty good athlete as he plays 2 different sports at his high school. Basketball is his other sport choice. And this is the part of the video where we talk about what it means for him, but also what it means for Auburn for this class, for the present, and for the future. So for this 2023 class, this will now be, even with all the decommitments and stuff like that, the 11th commit to be part of this class. It is the 6th overall for the offense, the 3rd offensive line, and the 1st exterior offensive tackle commit for this class. Now, when we look to his future and what opportunities he has coming up, maybe even immediately, I always stress, plan on these guys to redshirt, but this is the one position I think where you're really going to find tons of opportunities to come right in and even not play right away, at least compete, have a legitimate shot to take over a starting role. Because here's the reality. We're losing everybody, seniors galore, graduates galore, and some that at least had another year of eligibility decided to move on. You're really only returning Jeremiah Wright as a prominent starter. Tate Johnson as well as a center if he's healed up correctly. So really, even for an exterior offensive lineman as he's supposed to be, the opportunities abound. I also like to discuss regional topics in terms of recruiting, and we talk a lot about battleground states. Well, he comes from Louisiana. That's not typically a huge battleground state for the Tigers, although they have a history, Trevon Reed, of drawing big-time commits out of that state. So it's nice to see us continue to dip our toes into Louisiana, especially after losing the commitment of edge rusher Ashley Williams. It's a nice salve to the wound that was probably opened up by losing a guy like that. And finally, let's look at the offensive line class makeup thus far. We've already mentioned that he's the 3rd overall offensive lineman to commit to the Tigers, the 1st exterior-wise, as we have 2 interiors, technically a guard and a center in Clay Wedden and Braden Joyner already. So here's what you can expect in my eyes. Another offensive tackle or 2 or 3. Basically, just expect more offensive linemen because, as we've addressed, everybody's gone now just from graduation. Otherwise, everybody is just not going to be here. It's going to be a completely new offensive line for Auburn. So expect more to come. maybe even sooner than we think. So those are my thoughts on your brand new commitment, Tyler Johnson, the 11th overall for the 2023 class for Auburn football. We'd love to know yours down in the comments section below. Make sure you do that so you can enter into our ongoing subscriber giveaway for that prize package. And as always, smash the like button if you enjoyed this content. Be sure to subscribe because that's part of that subscriber giveaway process too. Check out the links in the description for ways you can help support our content here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. War Eagle.